No, we'll go ahead and call the Morgan County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for December 30th, 2024 to order. We do have a quorum this evening with all members in attendance. At this time, we'll ask Mr. Rumbaugh if he'll lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rumbaugh. Minutes were sent out to us, copies from both our October and November meetings. Were there any changes, corrections, additions, or deletions that need to be made in the minutes?
I read.
Okay, I didn't either.
Make a motion to approve both. Second.
All right, got a motion to approve both October's and November's minutes. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye.
Aye.
They are approved. Any changes to the agenda this evening? No. We do have one thing that we carried over, but I think that's for next month. I think that was a 60-day continuance. Okay, all right. A motion to approve the agenda then, please.
Move to approve the agenda as sent.
Thank you. Second to that? Second. Thank you. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. At this time, we're going to ask Mr. Peden, the board's attorney, to please swear in all those that are going to be speaking this evening to the board.
This is a quasi-judicial proceeding, which means that your remarks that you give to the board are in nature of testimony. So if you will take the oath to tell the truth, you and each of you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do.
Thank you, Mr. Peden. All right. Any of you have been here before? No? Okay. But we'll get you out of here before the ball drops tomorrow night, that's for sure. So we're going to call up the first order of business here in just a minute. When we call you up, come up to the podium, talk into the microphone. If we can't pick you up or we can't hear you, I'll stop you and let you know that. You might have to adjust the microphone up or down to fit you. We ask that you only speak when you're at the microphone. One, we like to keep a rule of order during the meetings. And number two, we want everything recorded that's said here this evening as well. If you signed up to speak and you don't want to speak and I call your name, you can just simply tell me pass and I'll make a note of that and we'll move on to the next person. We give the applicant a chance to explain what it is they want to do and why they need a variance. And the more detail you can give us, the more that helps the board to make a good, intelligent decision on your request. Any questions from anybody? Can everybody hear me okay tonight? All right. A little bit. You're in the front row. You can scoot your chair up here a little closer if you want. Okay. All right, under new business, first item on the agenda this evening is public hearing D-24-20. Douglas O., is it Mulane? Mulane? O'Mullane, like O'Connor O'Mullane. Thank you. Douglas O'Mullane and Elizabeth Sarchett are requesting a development standard variance to allow a primary dwelling to be constructed across the center line of two adjoining lots in Foxcliff Estates South. The property is located at 0 Foxcliff Drive in Washington Township and is zoned R1. For this application this evening, I have both Elizabeth and Douglas signed up to speak, although Douglas didn't take the oath. So is Elizabeth going to be the only one speaking tonight? Okay, so we'll start with Elizabeth then. So if you'd come up to the microphone, folks, this goes for everybody. Give us your name and your address, and then again, what it is you want to do and why you need the variance.
There's the microphone. Okay. I'm Elizabeth Sarchett. My address currently is 4698 East Falls Creek Drive in Bloomington, Indiana, 47401. My husband and I recently bought 2 side-by-side lots in Foxcliff South. We've been looking at lots there for over a year. Some of you may know there's not a lot left in Foxcliff South, and so the lots that are there are a little rough. And we finally decided to purchase 2 lots and would like to build in the middle of those 2 lots in order to find a nice level spot that we can build on that will be also give more room on each side for the neighbors. And the level place is right in the middle, and that is in your packet. So that's what we're here for, seeking a variance.
All right, anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, just that we have gotten a letter that's in your packet from the Board of Directors supporting the variance. And we've been in contact with them, and it's not an uncommon occurrence in that neighborhood.
All right, thank you. You can have a seat.
Okay.
Or well, hang on just a minute.
Oh.
Gentlemen, any questions for the applicant this evening?
I have none.
No, neither do I.
Okay,
Thank you very much. All right, again, this is a request for a development standard variance. In order for the board to grant this, we have to agree that the applicant meets a certain number of findings of facts, and in this application's case, it's 3. So it asks for a explanation of what they would like to do, and the applicant has written, we plan to build a single-family home in the middle of 2 lots, which will allow for more privacy for both us and the adjacent neighbors. This is not an uncommon situation in Foxcliff Estates South. It is the ideal location for the home on the lots as well, and will be far from setbacks. It will allow the most level placement of the home due to the slope of the land. The application makes a statement under 2.1 that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. To support that, the applicant has written, the home will be built according to HOA construction standards. It will not pose any harm to the community. In fact, should enhance it and allow for more privacy. Under 2.2, the application makes a statement that the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Again, the applicant indicates that's a true statement. In support of that, has written, there will be no adverse effects on the adjacent property, but rather should increase the value of the surrounding area. And then lastly, under 2.3, the statement is, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The applicant indicates that's a true statement and states that without the variance, the house positioning will be difficult due to the slope of the land and will require the house to be built quite close to adjacent lots and create less privacy for both us and the neighbors. Health Department states they have no objections to the proposed development standard variance. Surveyor has reviewed and makes no comment. Staff's recommendation on this is that they would support this, feeling that the applicant has met all findings of facts. Gentlemen, we're open for discussion on this application.
Knowing the area, it's a common sense approach, it sounds like. I would recommend that we approve it.
Yeah, I would agree. We've done several of these in the past. They've got the support of the Foxcliff Association, and I have no objections to this. Any other discussion, gentlemen? If not, we'll open for a motion.
I would move to approve D-24-20
Based on,
based on the finding of facts.
as the applicant has stated, or as the application states, or both?
As the reasons stated in the petitioner's finding of facts.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second to that motion? I do for Mr. Crone. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye. 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 Thank you very much. It is approved. You're welcome to stay, but you don't have to. All right, for our next item on the agenda this evening is public hearing D-24-21. Douglas and Marcia Vare are requesting a development standard variance to allow a reduced side yard setback for an existing accessory carport. The property is located at 7119 North Kivett Road in Gregg Township and is zoned for ag. For this application, I have both Doug and Marcia Vare signed up in support of, and I have one person signed up in opposition to. So at this time, Doug or Marcia, whoever would like to speak first, if you want to step up to the podium, give us your name and address, tell us what you want to do, and why the board should approve this, please.
Name is Doug Vare, 7119 North Kivett Road, and we're wanting to apply for the variance for the existing carport. We did not realize we had a 15-foot that you had to be away from the property line. We don't even know exactly where the property line is because we've never had it surveyed. But my grandsons and myself and a friend of mine put the carport up this spring and summer. It's finished now. But it's not permanently attached to the ground. It has rods driven down through the frame to hold it in place in case of wind. But I put it in there for my golf cart and for my pickup truck. My pickup truck's been damaged pretty heavily from limbs falling on it. Last time it was over $8,000. Went in the shop, had it repaired. Time before it was like a couple $1,000 damage to it. And that's the reason why I wanted to put the carport up, to protect it.
Anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, not that I can think of.
Gentlemen, questions for the applicant?
Surprised you found Flatler on for it.
I'm sorry.
Speak unless you're at the microphone, ma'am. Gentlemen, any questions for the applicant?
No, it's common sense. That's not a very flat area. I'm familiar with it.
Thank you, Mr. Kivett. I'm sorry, Mr. Vare. Lives on Kivett Road. Marcia, did you want to speak? Name and address and whatever else you'd like to tell us.
My name's Marcia Vare, 7119 North Kivett Road. Lived there for almost 40, maybe 40-plus years. We did this because we had no other flat land to put this carport up. That's why we put it where we did. And we want to protect our stuff. We didn't mean to harm anyone.
Gentlemen, any questions for Marcia? No, thank you, ma'am. In opposition to, I have Lee Bernard.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Lee Bernard, and yes, I'm their neighbor. I live at 7099 North Kivett Road.
Pull that mic down a little bit, Lee, if you would. Thank you.
Should
Go
I
ahead.
repeat
I'm
that? Okay. And I'm not entirely opposed to this. As she, or he said, we're not exactly sure where the property line lies. I have a copy of a survey that was done on our property because we've only lived there for about 5 years now. And this survey was done many years ago, before it was ours. And so my only concern with this is the 5-foot variance that they've asked for, because I think it might be closer to 3. We have fence posts that are on each end of the property line, and I strung a caution tape. And so from that, I think that it just needs to be a 3-foot variance instead of 5.
How far is your house from?
Oh,
where
my
this-
house is considerably far away from it. I was just looking at the property line. My house is probably 50 feet from it.
Thank you.
So you're not necessarily opposed to it, but you think the property line is closer to their property than what they believe. You can come back up to the microphone there, please.
Yes.
You think your property line is closer to that building than they're saying, right? Based on your survey?
Right.
All right. Which would, is that tree right behind it that I'm looking at in the picture? It looks like you provided. Is that tree on your property or their property?
When I look from the fence line up towards the road, I can't see the other fence post because of that big tree. And I'm not sure what picture you're looking at, but I have some others.
Well, I don't really want any others unless the other board members would like to see them, but we usually ask those be turned in advance of the meeting. But this is the picture that I'm seeing in the packet. It's, gentlemen, last page of the packet in my packet. Can you see that?
Can I come closer?
Yeah, oh, sure, please do. Okay, okay, so we're good. If you can step back to the microphone
Here,
here
I
for
wanted to show her something, if you'd want to look. This is an estimated position of it. This is the official county property line. And it's not on your property, but it's close.
Yes, it's on their property. It's not on my property at all. But looking at these, you can see, I mean, that's a 4-foot ruler. So I think it's less.
All right, if you don't mind, step back to the podium, please. Gentlemen, any other questions for Lee?
I have none.
No? All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Vare? Can you come back up to the podium there?
Yes.
So Lee thinks you're 3 feet from, or 4 feet from the property line, 4 to 5 feet. You think you're 15 feet.
No,
No, he's got 5 feet in
I
here.
put 5 to 7 feet.
5 feet, okay, all right. There we go. All right. Okay. Come up here and take a look at this picture. All I'm going to ask you to do is look at it and then step back so we can get everything on the microphone here. Okay. All right. Thank you. If you could step back to the microphone. I'm looking at the back wall of this, and one section of that panel looks like 2 or 3 feet higher than the other section.
It's all finished.
It's all finished now? It's all closed in? Looks better than it does in this picture here? Okay. All right. Is that tree that's right behind that building that you put up, is that on you or is that on Lee's property?
I believe it's on us. There's a whole line of trees on our property line. Come from just about to the road down.
So if that tree drops a big old limb on top of your garage there, that may have missed your garage if you were 15 feet away instead of 5 feet, are you going to come after Lee on that and say, hey, that's now your tree?
Nope.
That's my only concern about it. All right, any other questions for the applicant, gentlemen?
I have none.
No? All right, thank you, Mr. Vare. All right, we have no one else signed up to speak, so at this point, we're going to read off the findings of the facts and not take any more testimony unless the board has a question. Again, a request for a development standard. The applicant has written for his description of what he's requesting. He says, "We, Douglas and Marcia Vera, requesting a development standards variance for our carport located at our home, 7119 North Kivett Road, Monrovia, 46157. It is approximately 5 to 7 feet from our property line, 20 feet long, 18 feet deep, 10.2 tall. Per the guidelines, the setback is 15 feet from the property line. Unfortunately, our property does not allow other options due to geographical reasons. We are surrounded by hills and woods. We believe an accessory structure would not adversely affect our direct neighbors in any way." And then under section 2.1, the application makes a statement that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The applicant indicates that's a true statement. And in support of that has written, "We believe our community is supportive of each other, support what we do with our personal properties, and value each other's privacy. Our structure will be sturdy and safe and help protect our family, friends, and vehicles from potential damage from any falling trees or limbs." Under 2.2, the application makes a statement that the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The applicant indicates that's a true statement, and to support that writes, their property continues to be valuable and unaffected by our accessory structure. The property next to us has roughly 9 acres of land with plenty of room to enjoy the views and wildlife. The structure is out of their sight line unless you want to look to the west. The structure is made from sturdy, valuable materials, and we believe does not decrease anyone's property value. And lastly, under 2.3, the application makes a statement that the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The applicant, again, states that's a true statement. And to support that has written, "Our property is very full of woods and hills. We have very little space of flat land to use." Health Department states they have no objections. Surveyor has made no comment. Staff calls out that due to the wooden and steeply sloped property leaving limited space for placement of the carport in proximity to the home, and the fact that they meet the findings of facts that they would support this request for the side yard setback to be approximately 5 feet from the property line. So gentlemen, open for discussion on this. Any discussion?
No, as the remonstrator indicated, it is not on her property to her knowledge, and he said roughly 5 feet. I don't see any harm at all in approving this.
Any other discussion, gentlemen? Open for motion.
I'll move that we approve petition D-24-21 with all findings of fact being found true by the petitioner and the staff report.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Mr. Crone seconds. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Gerald? Aye. It is unanimous. Thank you. All right, our next and last item under new business is public hearing SE-24-10. Jason Riggs, on behalf of Horvath Communications, is requesting a special exception to allow a wireless communications facility to be constructed in an ag zoning district. The property is located northeast of the intersection of State Road 42 and West Bell Union Road in Adams Township. For this application this evening, I have Jason Riggs and Kimberly Horn. Kimberly Horn. Kimley Horn. All right, Jason?
Thank you, members of the board. My name is Jason Riggs, having a business address of 500 East 96th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46240. And Mr. Chairman, you're not the first person to make that Kimberly Horn statement. It's very common, so. I'm here this evening on behalf of Horvath Communications and their anchor tenant Verizon Wireless to construct a new tower in the northwest corner of the county. The tower itself is a guide tower, approximately 295 feet tall, with a lightning rod being an overall height of 305 feet. As staff and has provided, along with our application and information, we meet the requirements both here in the county as well in the state. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have in regards to the information provided.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to tell us?
One thing there is to note, this is to provide both capacity and coverage. So capacity is, there may be too many people on a tower close by, and so they're dropping calls. So that's one aspect of this will help with the capacity issue as well as new coverage to the south and along 70 where there is a gap in coverage. So.
Thank you. Gentlemen, questions?
It may not be humorous, but I don't see anybody in here that's got cancer from a cell phone tonight.
No.
I think it's a first in all my years.
It's, yeah. I've had a few times where I haven't had anybody here, but it is a rare thing to not have anybody
They
here.
always have a cell phone on their hip.
Exactly.
So you're going to be just under 300 feet with the tower, and then about 305 with the lightning rod on top of the tower. Does that sound right?
Yep.
And it looks like, according to Ms. Parker, the closest house is approximately 325 feet away. And this is a standard cell phone tower. You'll have a little building on it. You'll have a chain link fence with some barbed wire
Correct.
around the top of it.
Yes,
Little access drive to it.
that is correct.
And then you're going to have guy wires on this as well,
Yes.
running out.
Going to be using approximately all of the 5 acres.
Let me see. It'll be, yes. Yeah, with the guide wires going out, yes. Now, the actual area for the compound itself will be 100 by 100 area, so 1/4 of an acre. And the guide wires will go out closer to the property line.
It'll
but
be
not-
back from your property line then.
Yeah.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
I have none.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have an application for a special exception. In order for the board to grant this, we have to agree that the applicant, in this case, meets 6 findings of facts. The description of the request is that this will be an unmanned wireless communication facility that's fully automated 24/7. Is for a 299 feet overall tower height with a fenced-in area inside a 100-foot by 100-foot lease area. And in the application under section 2.1, the application makes a statement that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the special exception will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare. The applicant indicates that's a true statement. In support of that, as written, this site will not be detrimental to or endanger, if anything, will increase communications to the area, including E911 communication for public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. Section 2.2 makes a statement that the special exception will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted. And the applicant indicates that's a true statement. In support of that, as written, this site will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment for other properties and would provide reliable communications to this area for uses already permitted. Under section 2.3, the application makes a statement, the establishment of the special exception will not impede or substantially alter the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. The applicant again indicates this is also a true statement, and to support that has written, this site will not impede or substantially alter development or improvement for other properties and would add to the economic growth of any future development to this area and providing reliable communications. Under 2.4, the statement is adequate utilities, road access, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been or are being provided. The applicant again indicates that's a true statement. To support that has written, this site will provide the required utilities to operate the unmanned facility and will have an access road, and since the area is primarily flat with non-impervious surface drainage should not be an issue. Under 2.5, the statement is adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion on the public roadways. The applicant again indicates that's a true statement and writes to support that this will be an unmanned wireless communication facility and will not affect traffic or public roadways. And last, under 2.6, the application makes a statement that the special exception will be located in a district where such use is permitted, and all other requirements set forth in this UDO that are applicable to such use will be met. And the applicant indicates that's a true statement and says this is in an ag district. The health department states they have no objections. The surveyor notes that a plot plan and an erosion control plan, which includes the construction driveway, will need to be submitted to the surveyor's office prior to any earth disturbance. Staff's recommendation on this is that they feel the applicant has met the findings of facts and support the approval of the special exception. So, gentlemen, any discussion on this application?
Nothing.
Open for a motion?
I'll move that we approve petition SC-24-10 with all findings of fact being found true by the petitioner and the staff.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll approve the second.
Thank you, Mr. Rumball. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
It is approved. Thank you very much. Mr. Peden, do we have a BZA attorney's report this evening? We do not. Thank you. Ms. Parker, do we have a plan director's report this evening? No. Do we have any items on the agenda for next month? No. Our next scheduled meeting is January 27th, 2025. Without any other business to be conducted.
May I ask a question?
Normally, no, but it's the holiday. I'm in the spirit. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just curious to know why my request was not considered, to change it from 5 foot to 3 foot.
Because in my mind, and I'll let the board members that voted for this, which I believe was all of us, speak for themselves. In my mind, because the application or the staff's notation on it is that it's approximately 5 feet. Else like to comment on that?
I agree with that. It wasn't over the property line, so without having a survey actually done for this specific item, it's hard to tell.
They have asked to purchase part of our property since we moved in, and so I'm concerned about encroachment.
Understood.
The tree, you can't really go by trees for property lines. I mean, that tree was probably that big when it was planted. And if it was planted on the line a little this way or that way, and then it grows bigger, it makes it look like, it's not truly where the property line is, the outside of that tree. So,
So it could go either way.
so I think for the wording, I should ask Laura this because I was kind of thinking that. Does the wording on 3 foot or 5 foot, does that specifically, is it that many feet? Or is it just approximate?
And so I don't see what the difference is between 3 or 5.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can't hear you. What?
I said I don't see a difference then between 3 and 5.
To not split hairs here, my final comment is that it was approved for approximately 5 feet.
And
Okay.
splitting
Thank you,
hairs,
ma'am.
I got it, okay.
All right, gentlemen, any other business to be conducted this evening? If not, I'll open for a motion to adjourn. Thank you. A motion to adjourn by Mr. Crone. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Thank you. Motion's been made and a second. All in favor, please.